What if I said the most effective way to make a man pursue you is by not doing anything at all? No texting, no checking his social media activity, no casual check-ins, nothing. It may seem counterintuitive, but this idea aligns with Carl Jung's philosophy. When you pull back your energy, you no longer inflate his ego, and instead, his real motives become clear. This approach isn't manipulative. It's about reclaiming your own power. Sometimes, the most powerful move is to do nothing at all, and that silence can speak louder than any words. Comment 1 if you've ever stepped back and watched someone finally take notice. Comment 2 if you're still learning how to stop overgiving in relationships. Many women are unaware that being constantly available emotionally, mentally, and spiritually makes them fade into the background. It's not due to a lack of worth, but because they never allow a man to feel their absence and long for them. Jung referred to this dynamic as projection in psychology. We share our inner light, hoping to receive the same in return. But the moment you stop giving and start allowing yourself to receive an unexpected shift occurs, he starts to pursue you. Even if you're only half listening, let this message continue in the background. Your subconscious will take in what your heart already understands. You've been giving too much, and it's time for him to begin making an effort. First, let's talk about energetic power. Why being unresponsive is more effective than pursuing. Here's an overlooked truth. Men don't fall in love when they're handed everything. They fall when they notice the void left by what was once freely offered. Consider this. Humans are naturally driven to chase. Jung explained that what we pursue reflects hidden parts of our psyche, desires, fears, wounds. When you subtly ignore a man, you cease to be a source of affirmation and instead become an enigma that intrigues him. And there is power in mystery. The act of chasing a man stems from fear of loss, of being overlooked, of inadequacy. But the moment you redirect that energy inward and stop seeking approval, everything shifts. You become less accessible, and what is rare becomes more valuable. Have you ever seen how those who show the least interest tend to attract the most attention? It's not because they're harsh or manipulative, it's their self-contained energy. They're not desperate. That's what true energetic strength looks like. There's something magnetic about those who don't chase approval. They draw others in without trying. Comment 1 if you've noticed how holding your energy makes people lean in. Comment 2 if you're still figuring out how to protect your peace without feeling guilty. Words aren't necessary. Your absence communicates everything. When you pursue him, you reinforce the idea that he's your priority. But stepping back prompts him to question. Why did she stop? Did I mess up? Is she with someone else? That's when you start to occupy his thoughts. This isn't about becoming cold or detached. It's about channeling your energy inward. Instead of pouring it into him, invest in your own peace growth and quiet strength, all of which speak volumes more than any "I miss you" ever could. Keep in mind, ignoring isn't impolite. It's just choosing not to engage with what doesn't support you. Once you truly recognize your value, there's no need to justify it. You live it, and that's when he starts to feel the void you left behind. Second, understand the impact of emotional absence and stop fueling his ego. Many men won't openly say it, but women can sense it. They enjoy being pursued because it boosts their ego. Each time you respond, immediately check in or end the silence first. You're not rebuilding a connection. You're reinforcing his dominance. Carl Jung cautioned that giving excessively without reciprocation isn't love. It's unconscious behavior. You're likely following a deep-seated pattern driven by fear rather than genuine affection. Here's the truth. While most men aren't narcissists, many get accustomed to feeling wanted. When that attention fades, they feel unsettled because they're no longer being affirmed. Your absence challenges their ego directly. What he truly misses isn't you. It's how important he felt in your presence. This is the crucial part. If he was only interested in your attention, he'll vanish once it's gone. But if you genuinely matter, he'll come looking for you. Your absence becomes a test that reveals whether his intent is authentic or ego-based. Jung believed we all wear masks that conceal our real selves. When you're constantly present, you support that mask. But pulling back forces him to face what's beneath the surface. That uneasy feeling, that's his ego beginning to unravel. And this is where your power lies. To stop fueling his ego without being unkind, avoid instant replies, don't initiate talks, don't justify your silence, and don't post just to catch his attention. Let your absence speak for itself. Let your mystery linger. You don't need to persuade a man of your value. The right one will recognize it when you're around and confirm it when you're not. Ever felt like silence said more than words ever could? Comment 1 if you've experienced someone finally noticing your worth after you stopped trying. Comment 2 if silence just felt like being ignored. When you stop overextending yourself, a transformation occurs. Your energy rebalances. You're no longer settling for scraps. You become the entire offering. And suddenly, the man who felt sure of your presence realizes he might have let go of the most valuable person in his life. Third silence holds power. Ignoring someone can communicate more than words. Many women assume they must speak up to be acknowledged or understood. But as Carl Jung noted, the soul speaks most through what is left unsaid. By choosing silence, you convey more than you realize. Silence isn't void. It carries tension, evokes mystery, and plants seeds of doubt. For a man accustomed to unlimited access, this becomes emotionally jarring. He can no longer anticipate your thoughts or actions, and that unpredictability unsettles him. It's straightforward. What is consistently available gets overlooked, but what vanishes without warning often becomes an obsession. By choosing not to engage, respond, or interfere, you open up space that compels him to think. He begins to question, what happened? Why did she stop pursuing me? What shifted? This reflection leads him to value you more and also confront his emotional shortcomings. Jung referred to this process as facing the shadow, the hidden parts of ourselves. Your silent withdrawal forces him to confront his. The discomfort he experiences isn't caused by you, it's his internal conflict. That's why your silence isn't a form of punishment, but a form of truth. Each unanswered text, missed call, and quiet moment where you prioritize your peace sends a powerful message. I'm done playing these games. I won't entertain your ego. I've chosen myself. You don't have to block him or ignore messages out of spite. Simply distance yourself quietly, not to hurt or manipulate, but to affirm that you are no longer someone who runs after a man who fails to value you. When he senses that void, he will respond, perhaps by texting, making snide remarks, or acting out in anger. Don't mistake this for affection. It's just his ego trying to regain control of something he's lost. If his feelings are genuine, he won't back off easily. But now, the decision of whether he deserves a place in your life is completely in your hands. Fourth, create a space that he feels compelled to fill. One of the most subtle yet effective tactics is to let him be the one asking questions. If you're constantly accessible, explaining everything and solving problems he never has to reflect, you're managing the emotional load for both. However, when you step back, without a word or explanation, silence begins to stir questions in his mind. That uncertainty and curiosity, why did she withdraw, is often what draws him back in. Jung stated, the unconscious moves through symbols. By leaving quietly, without confrontation or hints, you become a symbol, an unresolved mystery. He may not fully grasp you, but he becomes deeply drawn to understanding you. Men aren't inspired to pursue what's easily understood. They are motivated by what challenges their thoughts. Picture it like this: if your presence is guaranteed, there's no urgency for him to act. But when he senses your shift, less responsive, more distant, something awakens in him. He begins revisiting memories, reviewing messages, and questioning whether he made a wrong move. The void left by your absence starts to press on him. It creates a sense of unease, and as with most people, he seeks to bridge that distance. Here's the key: don't rush to close the gap yourself. Let him be the one to try. Allow him to put in effort to express his curiosity and reveal his intentions. If you hurry to explain things or interpret his emotions, you disrupt the allure and mystery, breaking the emotional tension that draws him in. This isn't a competition. It's a way to see who genuinely wants to come closer to you. If he takes the initiative to reconnect meaningfully, then you're not pursuing anymore, you're allowing. And that's when a true shift happens. Your silence served as a reflection, and your absence carried the message. If he desires your return, he must demonstrate growth and understanding. You're not meant to be someone's fallback or emotional crutch. You deserve to be chosen with purpose. If that requires you to leave quietly, then that quiet departure is the strongest affirmation of your self-worth. When you pull away, your light begins to shine. Emotional distance has a magnetic quality. There's something graceful about a woman who exits calmly without yelling, overreacting, or explaining. She simply walks away, and it's not out of apathy, it's growth. Jung described individuation as the journey of shedding societal pressures and reconnecting with one's true self. Choosing to leave someone who doesn't meet your needs is precisely that process. You're reclaiming your identity. You stop chasing validation from others and start discovering it within yourself. This shift transforms your energy and allows you to shine in a new, authentic light. You're no longer the woman hoping he'll change or pleading for affection. You become the woman who puts herself first and that inner transformation is evident. He may not express it, but he senses the difference. He sees you've emotionally withdrawn, that your reactions have changed, and that you're evolving into someone who no longer relies on him for emotional support. This renewed version of yourself, the woman who gets ready for herself, enjoys her own company, and doesn't need to check her phone at night, is the most powerful because she is grounded, self-aware, and whole. The irony lies in the fact that the space which initially felt like a loss becomes powerfully attractive. Your newfound independence and confidence pull him in because you no longer need him. Men instinctively feel when a woman stops centering her life around them. They may not understand why, but they feel the absence and often try to regain what you've already evolved beyond. But the important point is this: you didn't leave to prompt his return. You left to return to yourself. If he comes back, let it be due to his genuine appreciation of your worth, not because of bruised pride. Let it be because he wants to grow with you, not because he fears a loss of dominance. You're not meant to plead for affection. You're here to draw in love from a place of completeness. Establish limits without needing to speak. Often we assume boundaries must be explained, discussed, or defended repeatedly. But in truth, the most effective boundaries are demonstrated through consistent behavior, not words. Jung taught that whatever remains unconscious becomes fate. In other words, if you don't realize your worth, you'll continually attract those who fail to recognize it. This is why calmly walking away without conflict or explanation sets a firm and undeniable boundary, one more powerful than anything spoken. Ignoring messages that lack purpose, declining spontaneous plans, and refusing to be present for those who only appear when it suits them all convey the message, with me, it's all or nothing. That is true self-respect. You might repeat, I deserve better endlessly. But if your behavior still permits the bare minimum, he won't believe you. It's not malice. It's that your actions suggest your love has a price. And real love should never be up for negotiation. Energetic boundaries are about consistent actions. If you instantly respond to his texts regardless of timing, that's your chosen limit. If you witness disloyalty and accept it without meaningful change, your boundary isn't your words, it's your tolerance. When he no longer has the same access to you, he senses a shift, and what's shifted is you. You've stopped accepting a lesser role, stopped surviving on emotional leftovers, and stopped waiting for him to offer what you now provide yourself. And the best part, you don't have to vocalize anything. You just shift your actions. That quiet transformation disturbs the male ego more than anger ever could. A woman who exits silently without drama or demands leaves the strongest impression. That quiet strength is unforgettable. It leaves a lasting impact because beyond any speech, your behavior says, I refuse to settle for less. That firm, calm energy is what truly defines a boundary. Allow him to make the effort. After all you've done, it's only fair he now shows his intentions through action. Jung observed that fear distorts perception. When you no longer act from fear, even in love, truth becomes clear. By not always being the first to reach out, or constantly available a deeper reality reveals itself. You'll find out if he values you or just what you offer. When you stop contacting him, stop worrying, and focus on your own peace, he'll notice the difference. Then he must either pursue you or let you go. And that decision reveals his true intentions. If he truly wants to be with you, he'll make it clear. The man who genuinely appreciates you won't wait until you've walked away to give you the respect you deserve. But to witness his true intent, you must remain still. Avoid dropping hints, seeking his attention online, or playing mind games. Just maintain your silence. If he truly cares, his actions will reflect it. He will come back with genuine clarity and commitment, not just to reassert control, but to build a real connection. And if he doesn't return, that in itself is your answer. You've gained something far more valuable: liberation from someone who was never capable of caring for you properly. When you stop pursuing and stand still, you reclaim everything. You stop waiting and start reigning. In that empowered state, only people and things that genuinely enhance your life are welcome. If you've reached this point, credit belongs to you, not him. Something within you has awakened. You've stopped settling and stopped giving from fear. You've begun choosing yourself. As Jung said, don't hold on to those who leave, so the ones meant to stay can come in. This message isn't about mind games. It's a reminder of your worth. When you stop chasing, you open the door to attract the love you actually deserve. Subscribe for more content that reflects and speaks to your journey. Share in the comments which part resonated with you the most. And always remember, your silence holds more power than you might realize. Until next time. Have you reached that turning point where you chose yourself over chasing someone else? Comment 1. If this message affirmed a choice you've already made, comment 2 if it inspired you to start choosing yourself from today.